So I think it's time to give an update about the ADD diagnosis situation. Last month, I made a video talking about how difficult it can be for people to get a diagnosis with ADD because they have ADD. It just, is catch 22. Like, you're very unlikely to actually schedule anything. But I decided to make it my mission to get that diagnosis. And so I scheduled an appointment. This was in February. I scheduled an appointment. And while I haven't been to the doctors in like 4 or 5 years, so of course they considered me a new patient. So I had to go in and do the whole new patient thing, the annual checkup, which is maybe an every 5-year checkup at this point. And that was scheduled for March 14th. That was this week. That was like 3 days ago. And I've been thinking about making an update, and here it is. So I went to the doctor. I walked in, and my doctor is reasonably humorous. And the first thing he said to me was, "I thought you were dead." So I told him I'm not dead. I'm still ticking. And, he did the typical doctor thing, asking me all of the questions. Apparently I'm getting old now, so my body is, likely to just, I don't know if limbs just start falling off or what starts happening as you age. But apparently everything starts to go wrong. And my family history is like heart attacks and cancer, so that's, making him raise his eyebrows. But at some point I kind of interrupted him and said, "Hey, I think I might have ADD, and I'm curious as to what you think, and I assume you have a test for that." And he asked me, what makes you think you have ADD? And I'll be honest, I was pretty well prepared for this. In fact, when I was going in, I thought, he's probably going to ask me that question. And so I actually wrote down some reasons, and I'll share the reasons with you guys right now as to what I told him. Difficulty starting on tasks, easily distracted, way too many projects completed to around 80%. Focus is either very intense or very lacking. I don't really consider myself hyperactive, but definitely somewhat impulsive and inattentive. Big trouble motivating myself to do things. Awful at time management. Always starting new tasks before finishing old ones. Keep thinking I need to do an annual checkup, but never getting around to actually booking it. And it can be overwhelming to complete basic tasks that I know how to do and are not even difficult. So I thought that was a pretty good list. And he said, "Yeah, it sounds like you probably have ADD." So this was nice because I was a little worried about how difficult it would be to not necessarily get a diagnosis, but to get, health professionals to take me seriously, because there's all kinds of people that walk in every day where they're like, "I think I have this disease or this disorder," because everyone's self-diagnosing themselves through Google or not even Google now, even just TikTok. And so now you're getting these like trending disorders. And so it was good because I felt validated. And I felt like my reasons were pretty reasonable. However, the unfortunate side to this whole story is that my blood pressure is too high. And basically it's too high for me to take ADD medication right now, because ADD medication will increase my blood pressure. So it's just like another hurdle. I've got to, we discussed diet, exercise, and of course medication to lower blood pressure. And I bought a cuff, the thing I'm going to stick on my arm to find out what my blood pressure is. And I have to check my blood pressure multiple times throughout the week and message the doctor to let him know how that's going. And he may have to put me on medication, or maybe I can bring it down somewhat anyway. But it's very defeating, though, because I feel like part of the reason my blood pressure is high is because I need to exercise and because I need to stop stuffing my face. But part of the lack of exercise and part of the stuffing my face, I think, kind of sources from, the stress of dealing with things that is there because of the ADD. And it's this horrible circle. And I don't know that for sure. I'm speculating. But, part of me is just like, just give me the medication and let's see if I can get this under control. So, anyway, this coming week, I'm going to be measuring my blood pressure and seeing how that goes. And if it doesn't go down, then I'm going to take the blood pressure medication so that I can take the ADD medication and see if the grass is truly greener on the other side, because I don't know if it is. Again, I'm just speculating, I don't know if taking Ritalin or whatever, Adderall or whatever the drugs are, I don't know if that's actually going to help me. And, I was talking to my buddy about it, and some people think that the drugs, I've heard people treat the drugs like it makes you like superhuman or something, but that isn't the way that I understand them to work. They can help you focus. Yeah. Right. Kind of like how your eyesight might be bad and you put some glasses on and that helps you see. But your traits and your skills and, your aptitude for things, those are things that you have to continue to work on. And there's a lot of things that I've worked on outside of medication to treat the symptoms of ADD myself. Like I've realized that when I'm working, right behind me is where I work. And this right here is my to-do list. And the reason it is there is because it needs to be in my eyesight at all times. Because if it isn't in my eyesight, my focus is going to drift. And it does drift anyway, even with it in my eyesight. But at least when it's in my eyesight, I see it and think, oh, I gotta snap back. I gotta stop looking at the birds outside the window or whatever's going on and bring myself back. And I'm doing that all the time, constantly. I'll be in a conversation with someone and my brain will veer off the road, right? And then I have to come back to it 15 seconds later. I'm like, oh, I'm realizing that I missed part of the conversation. It's very annoying. But, I have to be optimistic. I did go to the doctor. I did sort of get somewhere with it. I do have a referral to a psychologist, I think, to get a formal assessment for ADD. And I'm on my way to getting the medication to at least see if that helps. And so that is good. I feel as though it's, remarkable steps in the right direction. But it isn't as quick as I would like it to be. Anyway, that's pretty much the update at this point. I do have another appointment in 2 months from March 14th. Just as kind of a follow-up to all of this. But I'm hoping to get the medication before then. And of course, at some point, I'll have this appointment with the psychologist. I guess maybe to find out if I'm crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I'm optimistic, a little excited, a little down and bummed out, honestly. I wish that he could have just prescribed medication there. And if my blood pressure was lower, he would have. That's what's so frustrating about it. But you just got to keep moving along. I do think, again, the irony is that if someone has ADD, at this point, you got to keep pushing. Now you got to call people, and now you got to do this stuff. And I honestly think I'm only able to do any of this because I have people around me that support me. And it really is taking a substantial amount of effort to push through it. you know? And I don't want to lose that, like, that drive, that hyper focus that I have on this. I don't want to lose it. And then it'll just, it'll just get stuck in nowhere land and it won't move forward. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, that's all I got. We're at 10 minutes. I think that's enough. And the next time something happens, I'll give an update. And I think when I get the medication, because I do think the diagnosis will be positive. I think I'll like record a week or a month with the medication and just kind of how it is on and off of it, because I don't know, there's such a lack out there on YouTube of videos for this stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.